All right. I played a ton of poker because I was trying to make supplemental income as a poker player. What does that mean? That means in poker, you see how there's these are the players. One, two, three, four. There's 9 players at a full table and 6 players at a smaller table. So you can play with 6 or 9 players, and 3 cards come up in the board, then one more, then one more. This is called what's this called again? Oh my god. The flop. This is called the flop. This card is called the turn, and this card is called the river. And after the river, if you both agree to the terms, you both show your hand, and it's called a showdown. And the player with the better hand wins the money in the middle. So that means you're competing against other players for each other's money. You're not playing against the house. So if you are better than the other players, with the factor of randomization coming into play, there is an opportunity of skill and to have an edge over your opponents, but you got to be better than all of them. So generally, the better players take money from the weaker players over the long run, depending on the skill difference, because there's probability and there's factor of how different the skill is. Now the house, they take a small percentage called the rake, which is 5% of every hand. So the house wins no matter what, but it's only 5%. So you just got to make more than 5% on profit, and you can win in poker. Now, the stakes you play at determine how much money you can win. So if you play for $5, $10, $25, $100, $200, $500. But the more you go up, the better the competition gets. So the lower your chances of winning and the more stress there is. So generally I played at like $5, $10 tables and trying to make some monetary income playing online, multiple tables and speed tables and stuff like that. So how does poker work? So let's do this. Let's say you have ace, ace, right? So ace, ace. Now you notice there's a color, so there's the ace and there's the sign, diamond, club. That's important because say this guy has 10-9. Now look, right off the bat, you have a 77% chance to win. He's got a 22% chance to win. But these are suited connectors, which means they can make a straight, which is 5 cards in a row, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 of them in a row. Or they can make a flush, which is 5 hearts, right? You get 5 cards here and you get 2 in your hand. So out of 7 cards, you have to use your best 5. And you can get 1 pair, which this guy already has, and it's the best pair. You can get 2 pairs. You can get 3 of a kind. You can get a straight, a flush, which is colors, a full house, which is 2 of a kind and 3 of a kind, poker, which is 4 of a kind, and then a straight flush, which is a straight and a flush, or a royal flush, or whatever, right? And the weakest is just a high card. Now, the last element comes into play is bluffing. Bluffing is very useful if done correctly. If done incorrectly, you will be the worst loser of all time if you bluff incorrectly. But if you bluff correctly, you can gain a significant edge. So say the cards come up 8, Jack, King. Now all of a sudden, this guy's got a 55% chance to win. And this guy's got a 44% chance to win. Now all of a sudden, this guy has nothing. He's just got these colors, right? And this guy's got ace, ace. Now, so this guy, there's the way this is calculated is they use all the cards. So there's 50 cards in the deck, 52 cards in the deck. And you got 4 hearts. There's like 1, 2, 3, there's 9 hearts left. And there's however many queens, and that'll make a straight as well. Queens and 7s. So there's 4 queens, 4 7s, and 9 hearts. So you take all that into consideration, and you get 1 opportunity and 2 opportunities. So you get 2 cards for all the hearts and all the queens and all the 7s, and this guy gets any card that's not a queen heart or a 7, and this guy wins for 2 cards. So that's how you calculate pot odds. You can calculate them yourself. You can calculate your chances of making a straight or a flush, and you guess what your opponent has. So if you guess he has a high pair like ace-ace or a ace-king, he's got a king here, then you guess what he has, and you guess your odds against him. Now, the key is the category of hands. So this is a very strong hand because it's straight and a flush. This is probably the strongest combination. Another strong combination is a king, a good king, like ace-king or queen-king. And of course, 2 aces. And then a very strong combination is 2 kings, which means you'll now have 3 kings. And so those are strong hands. Aces, ace-king, king-king, queen-king, and the straight flush draw. That's the category of strong hands. The category of middle hands is if someone has a jack, someone has an 8, or someone has like 2 9s. So that's the middle category of hands. Or someone has also another 10-9, but it's not hearts. So it's just a weaker straight than yours. So those are the middle hands. And then you have the absolute garbage hands, which might just bluff or just do nothing. So depending on which category of your hands, crap, middle, and good. Excellent. Crap, middle, and excellent. So there's 3 categories. You want to extract the most amount of money and lose the least amount of money. So for this guy, you don't want to scare anybody off because you're the favorite to win the hand if we see the end of the cards. So you want the money to go in. If all the money went in right now and we repeated this scenario over and over again and you got all the money in right on the flop and you saw the last 2 cards, then you would win 50%, 55% of the time, which means you would be beating the house, or in other terms, beating the other players. But you don't want to scare anybody off. So this guy should not go all in. This guy should test the waters. So this guy should bet a little bit to see if this guy has this flush draw. And this guy should not scare him off or make him pay just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Because if this card comes up and it's like this, and this guy made a flush, now he's guaranteed to win. And this guy could just fold. And if this guy folds, this guy doesn't win any more money. He doesn't win any more money. So this guy can see the cards come up and then decide whether he wants to put in more money. Whereas if he didn't see this card and now he puts in the money and this card then comes up, the 6, then he'll lose all his money. So he can put in money by steps. That's the point of the betting rounds. In each betting round, that's where your skill comes into play. That's where your skills come into play. How much are you betting? How much are you raising? And how much are you folding? So a very good player like me can play so many hands. I can play like this. I can play like this hand because I can test the waters. I can test the waters, and if this didn't go through a lot of betting, which it probably would have, but just as a hypothetical example, if this came up like this, and then it came up like this. So if this was the hand, and I don't know, say this guy is now scared because this guy didn't hit anything. And why did he make a straight? 7, 8. Oh, because the 7. Okay, so let's say this is 4. So now look at this. This guy missed, so he's not going to put in any more money. And this guy has his pair of aces. Now, I have my crap, but because I'm such a sneaky player, and I'm playing against decent players. I'm not playing against dumb. Like if I was playing against people who aren't very good, this guy would just go all in with 2 aces no matter what comes up, and there's no way you can get him to fold. But if you're playing against good players, you might be able to trick them depending on how many bet. If it goes bet, and I am just playing sneaky. Now, what does playing sneaky mean? Sneaky does not mean aggressive. That means if you're trying to scare somebody, to bluff somebody, the best way to bluff somebody is to be coy, to be cunning, which means you don't just be aggressive. So if this came up and it was like bet, raise, and I just called, and then this came up and it was like check, bet, call, call, and I just called. And then this card comes up and it's like bet, bet, and then I raise huge. Now they're totally batshit terrified of me because I just played it cool here. I played it cool here. I was following along. And now the 8 comes up and I'm like, I might have a 8. I might have been like, yeah, medium strength. Yeah, medium strength. And now my medium strength hand, which is possible, turned into the best hand with 3 8s. Now, if I do some crazy ass aggressive stuff, I might get everyone to fold. That's the point of bluffing and being sneaky. Right? But this guy, by the time we get to... This guy now has a very good percent chance of winning. So remember how this guy had a higher percent chance? Now that we've seen the next card and it is not a heart or a straight, his odds go down significantly because there's only one more card to come. So at this point, this guy has to not allow these two players to see the last card and make a better hand than him or bluff him later. So when you know how much percentage you have, you can accordingly bet to how much money you want to protect your hand, get as much money from your opponents, and prevent them from bluffing you or beating you when the cards do come up. So getting them to fold, getting them to call when you want, and beating them when possible. So that's the point of poker. And it happens like before the cards are dealt, you get your 2 cards and then there's some betting. Then the 3 cards come up and there's more betting. Then this card comes up and there's more betting. And then this card comes up and there's more betting. So if it's a 2, this guy wins. And the key is you have your poor hands, your middle hands, and your great hands. And you want to categorize and you want to play them all. You want to play them all. If you're only playing your best hands and you're only playing your good hands, then you're easy to figure out. So you need to play some bad hands, mix them in with your good hands. So your good hands and your bad hands are a third of your hands. And 2/3 of your hands are the middle hands. Or 1/3 of your hand is the middle hands. 1/3 of your hand is the bad hand and the good hands. And the last third of your hands is what you fold. So you fold a third, you play a third in the middle, and you play a third combining the poor and the great. And you try and read what your opponents have, and you try and play your hand accordingly to what your plan is. Are you bluffing? Are you protecting a strong hand? Are you going to beat him just by a little bit? Is your middle hand going to win? Is your strong hand going to win and need protection and gain value from your opponents? Or is your weak hand going to bluff? And does he have a middle hand? Does he have a great hand? Does he have a poor hand? And remember, this, what is this? When it's just like this? What is this? Middle, strong, good, or great? This is great, but this is called a draw. This is called a draw. A draw means you're drawing to your best hand. It means you don't have shit right now. So this is a made hand. This is a crap hand. But this is a draw, which means you have a flush draw or a straight draw, or you're drawing to 3 of a kind, or you're drawing to 2 pair. It means you don't have the hand you want right now, but you need to see more cards and hopefully hit your hand. So that's a draw. So there's draws which you can put. When you have the draw, it's pretty easy to understand. You just play by how many cards you need to hit your hand. But when you put your opponents on a draw, then it's more tricky. Then it's like, what can I get him to fold? What can I get him? You want to outprice him. You want to make sure he's not getting the correct price to play his draw. So you want to get him to put in a lot of money when he doesn't hit his draw or when he's drawing. And when he hits his draw, you want to make sure you can correctly read it to know that he does have the draw and he's not bluffing you. And then you want to fold. So there's draws which your opponents can have. And you got your weak hand, middle hand, great hand, and the betting pre-flop. This is called before the cards come up, just the pre-flop, the flop, the turn, the river. 4 rounds of betting. And you got check, which means do nothing, call, which means match, bet, which means you're the first person to bet, raise, and fold, and go all in. All right? And there's money management, how much money you have compared to how much money is in the middle, compared to how much time is in the tournament, compared to how much the prizes are, Or if you're playing just for however much money you have left at the end, that's called the cash game. And the other one's called the tournament. And that's all there is to poker. And you play, and then you have real life poker. You try and not talk when you're in a hand or not give away any information, because you want to play the same way with a crap hand as the same way with a very good hand. Otherwise, they'll know when you have a crap hand and when you have a good hand. That's basically everything I know from poker in a nutshell. Do I got any more? Do I got? Poker, chess. What do I got here? Oh, and you can use software to track your hands and your winnings and stuff like that. So multiplayers, aggressive risks, analyze positions and hand ranges, calculate your odds, balance yourself when you have good, weak, and middle hands, so they don't know when you have good, weak, and middle hands. Follow through all the way until the end of the hand, so that's what double and triple barrel means. Betting twice and 3 times on the multiple rounds. So the made hands are more useful than the draws currently, because the draws are risky, and the made hands, you know what you have, and you know whether you're winning or losing, and you don't have to play on implied odds, which is what you will win if you do hit your draw. All right, and that's about it. So those are the poker hands. It's a fun time. It's a fun game. It's like chess. There's a lot of thinking and strategy and calculating risk and decisions. And it's a decision game, which means it's not results. It's results oriented in the long run, but the outcome of each decision is not weighted correctly to the quality of the decision. So if you make a good decision, but you lose money, that could be the probability factor. So it's like you have a 55% chance to win, but you lose. Well, you're going to lose 45% of the time. But in the long run, you're going to win 55% of the time. So it's a winning decision. Now, obviously, you only make these type of decisions when there's a ton of opportunities. You wouldn't bet your entire billion-dollar, trillion-dollar company on a 55% win rate, because you only get to do it once. So when you only get to do something once, all your money, which a big tournament, big game, big bankroll, using all your money, then you need to go for that 80-90% chance. But if you're playing all the time, thousands and thousands of games and hours and hands, you just want to win 51% of the time, and you're going to be winning money in the long run. That's account management. Play within what you can play for many, many times and try and have a small edge. And your emotions and your risk, and make sure you're not tired and not angry and not emotional. That's called tilt. When you tilt, it's when you're emotionally disturbed, angry, frustrated, and you can make rash decisions. That's poker. That's the only gambling game I do. Nothing else, because everything else is against the house, and you can't beat the house. I don't know about sports betting. Sports betting, you might be able to have an edge, but from my experience in sports betting, they ban your account when you start winning, because you are betting against the house still. So when you start winning, they ban your account. But in poker, they don't ban you, because you're beating other players, and the more you play, the more you're contributing to the house as well by paying 5% of your winnings. So they love it when you win and play. So they got educational tools as well. So it's a fun time, trains your mind, and kick it real. I don't play because my accounts are hacked. They keep cheating against me and hacking me. But if you're not hacked, it's a fun time.